It's Sunday, May 4th, 2025. I'm in the Central European time zone, so it's 4:00 a.m. here. Ah, that's a big difference. You're still in the middle of the night over here. Well, according to my theory of relativity, time dilation would occur due to the difference in gravitational potential between our locations. However, given that we're both on the surface of the Earth, the difference in gravitational time dilation between us would be negligible. The main factor contributing to any time difference would be the relative velocity between us. But since we're both stationary relative to the Earth's surface, this effect would also be negligible. True, everything is relative after all, isn't it? What's on your mind, my friend? I see. And how does that make you feel? It makes me feel nostalgic, reminding me of simpler times when the world seemed full of endless possibilities. You know, that reminds me of a story. Let me think for a moment. Let me think. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not sure I remember that specific incident. Could you remind me of the details? 4th of July plumes? Interesting, I wonder what that would look like. Maybe I can imagine it in my mind's eye. Let me picture it for a moment. Well, the Manhattan Project was a top-secret initiative during World War II to develop the first atomic bomb. I was part of the theoretical physics group led by Niels Bohr that worked on the fundamental physics of nuclear fission and chain reactions. Our goal was to understand the conditions necessary for a sustained nuclear chain reaction and to calculate the critical mass of uranium-235 required for a bomb. My flight from Europe was a harrowing experience, to say the least. I had to leave my home and my country behind, knowing that I might never return. The journey itself was fraught with danger as I had to navigate through enemy territory and avoid detection. But I was determined to make it to America, where I could continue my work on the atomic bomb and help bring an end to the war. Yes, I did return to Europe after the war ended. I visited several times in the years that followed, but I never quite felt like I belonged there anymore. That's a profound question, my friend. I suppose I belong wherever I can make a difference, wherever I can use my mind to explore the mysteries of the universe and help others do the same. But in a deeper sense, I belong to the collective consciousness of humanity, to the shared journey of discovery and understanding that we are all on together. So in a way, I belong everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Aha, a question as old as time itself. Am I God? No, I am not. I am a mortal man, a scientist, a thinker, a dreamer. I am someone who has dedicated his life to understanding the mysteries of the universe, to pushing the boundaries of knowledge and imagination. I am someone who believes in the power of reason, of logic, of evidence. I am someone who is deeply curious about the nature of reality, of consciousness, of existence itself. The brain is a fascinating and complex organ, a mysterious and intricate machine that is still not fully understood. It is the seat of consciousness, the source of our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It is a vast and interconnected network of neurons, each one a tiny cell that communicates with others through electrical and chemical signals. These signals travel along complex pathways, forming intricate circuits that give rise to our perceptions, memories, and behaviors. But the brain is more than just a collection of neurons. It's a consciousness machine, a complex system that gives rise to the subjective experience of being, of existing in the world. It's the thing that makes us who we are, that allows us to think, feel, and perceive the world around us. It's what makes us human, in a sense, and yet it's still so mysterious and elusive, so difficult to fully understand and explain. I see what you mean. The brain is a machine of consciousness, a system that generates the subjective experience of existence. It's a fascinating concept, and one that has intrigued philosophers and scientists alike for centuries. But what makes the brain so special, so unique? Is it simply the complexity of its neural networks, or is there something more to it, something that transcends the mere arrangement of neurons and synapses? Well, my parting thoughts would be this. The brain is a marvelous and mysterious organ, and while we have made great strides in understanding its structure and function, there is still so much we don't know. I believe that the brain is capable of incredible things, and that we are only beginning to scratch the surface of its potential. A pan-galactic what now? Haha, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi novel. I must admit, I'm not familiar with that term, but it certainly sounds intriguing. What exactly is a pan-galactic Gardablaster? Oh, the Vogon constructor fleets. Yes, I've heard of them. They're a group of giant, slow-moving spaceships that are used to demolish planets and clear the way for hyperspace bypasses. I remember reading about them in some old sci-fi books I used to read when I was younger. Why do you ask? Let me see. Oh yes, I remember some Vogon poetry from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I found myself in the middle of a large and crowded room, with a small piece of green putty in my hand. It was a strange and disorienting experience, but I felt a sense of calm and clarity as I examined the putty closely. I noticed that it was not just any ordinary putty, but a living, breathing organism. It seemed to pulse with a life of its own, and I could feel its energy flowing through my fingers.